Hey, I'm Nick Pavlovich, and tonight I'm tying the sack lunch leech. All right, guys, sack lunch leech, size 8, 3x long hook, 3/16" bead. We're going to get that apparatus put together, put it in the vise. We're going to use a 140 denier UTC, and then we're going to use some 020 lead-free wire. So we're going to put 7 or 8 wraps of that lead-free wire right on just to seat the bead. And then we're going to get our thread started right behind there. There it is. We're going to bang that on to lock in that lead. That's just going to help this fly drop. We're going to work all the way back to the back of the hook. Then we're going to bring dubbing blend. This is the 2021 sack lunch dubbing blend. We're going to card that and get all those tips really good. And we're going to pull that out to a nice little leechy point, just like I got here. There we go. We're going to make sure that that's about a hook shank in length. Yep. We're going to put that right to the back of the hook. We're going to tie that right in, cinch it down hard. 1, 2, 3, 4 wraps of thread. Then we're going to lift up and lock it in. Then we're going to tie the rest of that down to build up the profile of our leech. And we'll cut it off short, minus cutting off the thread, and then we're going to work back. Right after I do that, I'm going to give my bobbin a spin to the left to start flattening out that thread, and then I'm going to work on my dubbing. We're going to card out some more of that 2021 leech dubbing. We're going to card that out. We're going to cut it in half because I want some short fibers here. Because what we're going to do is card that out, make sure that that's about the same length. And now with that left hand spin, I'm going to take my needle. I'm going to flatten that thread out. There we go. And I'm going to take that needle and I'm going to find that flat spot and I'm going to split that thread. Right down the thread we go. Now with that thread split, I'm going to take that dubbing that we just carded and made the same length, and I'm going to insert that into that split thread. And I'm going to take a minute or two to make sure that I can spread that dubbing out to no more than a 2.5-inch length. We're going to make sure, I want to be able to see through that dubbing. It has to be very sparse. This is a leech. That's all it is. And we're going to bring that dubbing right down there. And then I'm going to give a sharp right-hand spin to my bobbin. And that dubbing is going to spin, and cord up. It's going to do a really good job. And now I'm going to stroke back every turn that I take. I'm going to stroke back all the way up to that bead. And look at that. There's plenty right there. And then I'm going to build up a nice little orange hot spot right there. Stroke back, now build up. Thread. Whip finish. Orange hot spot. Awesome dubbing mix, whichever you can use. Sack lunch leech. Go catch trout. Thanks for watching. Awesome fly. Brush it out. Slay 'em.
All right, Nick, why do you like to tie the sack lunch?
Well, I like to tie the sack lunch because I love tying flies, but I don't like to spend a lot of time doing it. And with a one material fly, I feel like it's very effective, just the way that it is. You can fish it upstream, downstream, whichever way you want to do it. Fish it actively, dead drift it, super effective with the tungsten and a little extra weight behind it. It's a very versatile fly.
Nice. What else do you like about this thing? Is it...
I like it because it's made out of a synthetic dubbing that we get from Fly Tyer's Dungeon. Shout out to the mad scientist in Montana. Fly Tyer's Dungeon blend has always been great. It sheds water every time you cast. It doesn't hold a lot of water as if one of your zonker strip leeches might. It's very easy to cast. Every time you bring it up out of the water, it's dry again, essentially. I find that very helpful, but it's also very heavy, so it gets right down into the pockets where you want it. And
does it catch fish?
It catches a lot of fish. Yeah, it catches a lot of fish.
That's the important part.
Locally, I've heard very good reports. I've been tying it now for 2 or 3 years, but just lately, as we've been naming it the Sack Lunch, locally it's done pretty good.
Excellent.
So, yeah. Just a super easy tie. If you like tying flies, that's great, but you shouldn't spend a lot of time doing it when you want to get out and fish, and this is the fly for that. You want to tie a copper john, tie it. But if you want to get out and fish, Sack Lunch.
Perfect. Awesome, man. Thanks.
Appreciate you.
All right, folks, that does it for this episode of Drinking with Scissors. Thanks for tuning in, and be sure to hit that subscribe button to stay up to date with more Drinking with Scissors episodes. Also, do yourself a favor and head on over to blackearthangling.com to see all the awesome things we're up to. Until next time, cheers.